I'm transgender. Of course you could tell I was born a woman. I'm transgender. Of course you want me in a woman's restroom. I'm transgender. Of course I still get a period. I'm transgender. Of course I still have a cat. I'm transgender. Of course I'll never be a real man. I'm transgender. Of course I was born in the wrong body. I'm transgender. Of course my body's mutilated. I'm transgender. Of course I got a mental illness. I'm transgender. Of course I'm going to hell. I'm transgender. Of course I don't love myself. But guess what? I'm trans, and I'm here to stay.
You know, his page, when I came across it, was so educational, and I was like, how about we learn something different, right? And I was like, oh my god, such a handsome young man. We could learn something here. Let me make content about it. And I did. And here we are. I thought that this guy looked amazing, educating, the way he talks, smoothing. And you'll see that in a moment.
Shit. For me, it was a million reasons why I didn't like being a woman. So where in the fuck do I begin? First of all, you gotta bleed for 7 days every 28 days. For fucking what? Then on top of bleeding, the shit gotta hurt too. What the fuck? Then don't let you be one of those motherfuckers that get a period and you get sick with it. That's crucial. And then being a stud on your period, you gotta wear underwear, pad, maybe tampon for those that, that prefer that shit. Then boxers, then all the other little shit. Whole lot of bullshit going on. Never. Next. Then it seemed like every stud always got triple D's and up. Like, why in the fuck they do that? Come on now. Then don't let you become a mom. The motherfuckers get even bigger, and then they gotta get sucked on. What the fuck? Then if you got long hair, then you gotta every fucking 5 minutes. Who the fuck wanna do that shit? And shit, even as a woman, going to the gas station, you getting hit on by a bunch of motherfuckers all the time. Shit, even as a stud, I would hear, all you need is some whoop whoop whoop. You would be cool. Don't nobody want to hear that shit every time they go to the motherfucking gas station. Then how women are blessed, being FBI detectives and shit. I was never blessed with that shit. Then you even gotta look at my nose. I got a big ass bell pepper nose. Come on. But my hat's off to the women, I love y'all, respect y'all, all of that shit. Just couldn't be me. Just couldn't be me.
On this part, I get his point because I, as a woman, I don't do well with babies. I'm still not sure if I want a baby or I don't, but I'm leaning to the don't side. And my periods are awful. Like, they are really painful. And it's like something is pulling out of me. It's the worst thing ever. And however, I just learned to accept that they're painful. And then on top of that, it's maintenance. Periods are expensive. Bleeding, it is expensive. They tax us for this. It's very expensive to bleed. And then on top of that, when you have a baby, back to that baby issue, when you have a baby, they have to suck, the boobs are leaning. Sometimes I do wish that I had flat, wearing bras, something I just don't like. Like, sometimes I wish I didn't have like big boobs as well, because I get what he's saying. Having boobs is another thing. Having men hit on you all the time. Sometimes you don't want that. Even as a stunt woman, they will tell you, to correctional dating or correctional raping. But we're not gonna get into that. However, like, especially me, when they say I dress like a boy, I don't dress like a boy. They're clothes that are comfortable. Men clothes are very comfortable. I wear men clothes because they're very comfortable, and they make women clothes very light. They're not, especially in winter. Like, I really want clothes that are warm. Another thing is, I like their mainly stuff because they last longer. They make them stronger. So I want that on my body. They make them light and airy and feminine when it comes to women. But anyways, I digress. Let's carry on.
No, but yeah. But let me explain that shit. So I was born biologically a female. and I transitioned to be a male. I've had top surgery, aka a double mastectomy, and I've had bottom surgery, aka phalloplasty. And with phalloplasty, they took a graft from my leg and made me a penis. Reconnected nerves, blood flow, the whole nine. I've also had a hysterectomy but opted out and kept my ovaries. They took the fallopian tube out, uterus, and cervix. So yeah, I just got my ovaries and that motherfucker floating around like this type shit. Then I also got scrotoplasty, and that's the creation of a scrotum. And I also got a vaginectomy, and that's where they remove your vagina walls and, close your vagina. After they close the vagina, that's when they do the scrotoplasty. And scrotoplasty is basically where they put testicular implants in your vagina lips to give you the form of a scrotum. So you kind of get where I'm going with this, right? The clitoris is still there as well. It's just buried under my new penis. So even though now, like, when I look in the mirror, after a shower and shit per se, it presents as male down there and, male up here, but some of those original female parts are still there and were incorporated to make those male parts for me. So to kind of put it all together, basically, a scrotum is my vagina lips intact together with two testicular implants in it to form a scrotum. Clitoris is still there, it's just buried deep under the skin. And I still got my ovaries, so those are all female parts. So that's why when you ask, I say yeah, but nah.
Yo, I had to look myself down there just to get a clear image of what he's talking about, because when he's talking about it, I really did not understand it, and I still don't understand it. So the better picture was me looking at myself down there and checking exactly and imagining how his would look like. Even though I do, because, life sciences stuff. Let's carry on and watch the video.
So where do I go if they put me in jail? Let me answer that question for you. So when I was incarcerated, they put me with the males. Yeah, that's right. I may not be valid to y'all motherfuckers here on TikTok, but to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, I am a boy. I have male identifying genitalia. So they definitely not finna put me in a holding tank. None of that shit with a female. Now, being in a male population and I was born a female, I am, however, a keep away. So on this wristband, they have a blue band they usually attach to it. And out here, at least in, LA County, they have K2s, K4s, K6, and then K8s, and then, of course, K10s. And the K stands for keep away. So a K10 is a high-power inmate, a.k.a. probably like a celebrity or a high-profile crime that's, broadcasted on the news and shit like that. So they're in all orange, and they're kept away from everybody. A K2 and a K4 is people that have co-defendants, and so that they don't end up in the same dorm and, talk about their crimes and shit like that together. A K6 is somebody that's, like, severely mentally ill, a.k.a. which y'all think I am. But I ended up being a K8, which is for somebody with special circumstances, aka like LGBT inmates and shit like that. So I'm basically with the general population, but they keep me away from the inmates that aren't LGBTQ friendly, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna let y'all know. If y'all transitioning and you become a boy and you do a crime and you gotta go to jail, and you got bottom surgery, you're going to be with the boys. Now, when I allegedly committed a crime before, I had bottom surgery and I identified as a male still, they still sent me to the female jail. Because at that time, my genitalia still presented as female. Now, with trans women, I know that they can go to a female facility. They're separately housed from biological female inmates. They're not housed with biological females unless they have bottom surgery. Moral of the story, though, don't go to... I know my last video left y'all with a lot of questions that y'all want answers to. Shit, a whole lot of confusion and a whole lot of other little shit, right? So this basically gonna be the part 2 to the video I just posted May 31st. And if you just tuning in, I was born biologically a female and transitioned to a male. But we gonna get into this question. When I first have a conversation with anybody, on an intimate type of level, I make sure I ask them how they feel about transgenders and let them know that I'm a transgender. That way, if you don't fuck with transgenders and shit like that, the conversation ain't gotta continue. I ain't gotta waste your time. You ain't gotta waste my time. That way, I ain't gotta derail and explain all of this shit because they already know, I went through surgeries and all of this shit to be comfortable in the body that I'm in. Another question was my ovaries. I left them in for several reasons. I do one day want to have my own biological kids via AI and shit. Two, one day if I'm not able to get a hold of some testosterone and I don't have no estrogen running through my body, I'll then experience, of course, menopause and osteoporosis. And for those of y'all that don't know what osteoporosis is, that's when your bones get brittle and break and shit like that. They're easier and prone more to break. So it's always good to have some type of hormone flowing through your body for those type of reasons. The other question I was getting, does it work? So I also have an erectile device in my penis that makes me get up and make me get soft. So yeah, for the questions y'all was asking, yeah, I can get rock and I can get gummy. Can I urinate out of it? Yeah, I can stand, urinate, the whole little nine. Can I produce sperm? No. Testicular plastic implants. So no fluid is. Then I get, can you feel it and can I enjoy? That is actually a lot more pleasurable for me now than it was when I was a female. Like it's like times 10 now. On a scale of 1 to 10, I get that shit 100. When I'm at my peak, do I release fluid? Yeah, just not semen. The skin gland that's located on and near your urethra is what releases that fluid. It's the same fluid that I produced as a female that I release. I have blood flow, nerve connection, all in that area. So sensitive to hot, cold, pressure put on it, all of that good shit. The surgery itself was also broken down into 3 stages where they created and did the blood flow, nerve connection. Second stage, where they did my glandsplasty, vaginectomy, scrotum, forming and all of that shit, hooking up my UL so I could stand and urinate. Then the third stage is where they put the erectile device so that way I can, enjoy my X time. So as far as healing, I did healing in between 6 to 8 weeks in between each stage. So I had time to heal and get everything properly done so that way, surgery can go smooth. Oh yeah, this was the other one. How big is it? So medically safe, you can't go over 7 inches. And why they stop at 7? Because they're not sure if the blood flow will go all the way to the tip and the gland of the, penis at this moment. Everything's still fairly new, so they don't want to overdo it, and then you risk losing, your new meat, trying to go hard as fuck, trying to go too big, or just stay within, a reasonable limit, which is 7 or under. And last but not least, since everybody want to know my financial business on how much it costs, let me tell you. Insurance out here in California covers all transgender related services. What I will say though, and I do kind of find crazy about our health system is I had fibroids and endometriosis as a female. Uterus was like tore up and fucked up, right? They would not remove that motherfucker for the life of me, talking about I had to have like kids and all of that shit in order for them to remove my uterus. All my doctor had to do was say I'm transgender and I don't identify with those parts. Motherfucker was easy to come out now, being transgender. That's one thing I don't agree with our health system, I'll say that. But yeah, insurance covered my whole transition from top, bottom, everything.